Hey everyone, and welcome back to Calmsden Farm for episode 5 of our Let's Play series on what is a glorious February morning. So in the last episode we got our first 28 dairy cows and they're happy grazing on the grass in the pasture, although they're not actually eating the grass in the pasture. It would be nice if grazing was part of the game. So yeah, our first 28 cows, we've currently got around about 15,000 litres of slurry, although that visually doesn't show it at the moment, but in the next update this should start filling up with slurry to indicate how much you've got in there. We'll just go over here. So we've got 6,638 litres of milk and 15,633 litres of slurry. They've still got 10,000 litres of hay left, so we won't give them any more hay just yet. All our silage bales have now fermented, so we could start giving them total mix ration if we do get a feed mixer. At the moment that's not something we can afford, but it is something we will look to do pretty soon. So what we need to do today is get the second half of field 6 prepped. So we've got the canola in this first section, so we need to plow, lime, fertilise the upper section of field 6. We can't plant the oats until March at the earliest, so that'll be a job for next time. But if we can get it all prepped and ready to go for then. And what we're going to do is, because of the struggles we had with the Calmsden plow that we currently have, I'm going to take that down to the store and sell that plow and get a slightly smaller plow. It's only half a metre less than this. This is a 2.5 metre. So we'll reduce it down to 2 metres, but what we'll lose in the working width will make up for in the actual speed. Because this one we're struggling far too much. We're like getting 5-6 miles an hour at most, and it's just bouncing between 5-6. Whereas the 2 metre plow, I'm hoping anyway, we should be able to pull it at full maximum speed all the time. So we'll go and get this one sold. We'll just lease the other one, as we only really need it for that one field, and then we'll get cracking with the ploughing. Right, so we'll get this plough sold first. I forgot our trailer's still down here. Need to get that back to the farm. One of those things after last episode, leaving it down here, I completely forgot it was still there, but we don't need it for anything at the moment, so I'm sure the store won't mind if we leave it there for a bit longer. Right, so we'll get this dropped off. Need to unfold it first. Oh, never mind. Can't unfold it now because I've disconnected the cables. Now, where's the actual trigger? There we go. So yeah, we'll get, how much is this worth? 23,741 for the plough. That takes us up to 36,000. We're just going to lease the other one. As I said, we're only literally going to be using it for this one field. So options we've got is this one, which is 2.5 metre as well. So it's a little bit cheaper than what we just used, but it's also quite a bit lighter as well. It's only 1.6 tonne compared to this one, which is 2.3 tonne. But that one's 165 horsepower as well. I think that one, again, possibly could get away with that one, and it may work a little bit better, but I don't want to risk that one then having to change it again. So we're going to go for this one, the Verimaster one at 5.3. So this is only a 2 metre, but it's only 120 horsepower requirement, so we should be able to get full 7 miles an hour all the time. Which, although we're losing that little bit of width we're probably going to make up for, so it probably end up being a lot quicker using this than it would do using the 2500. So we'll just lease this for now, which is 1100. Well, that does give us 35,000 now. The feed mixer is around about 44,000 I'd like to get. So yeah, we don't currently have the money for that. And we have a little bit of wheat we could possibly sell. We've got no use for it currently. We've only got 6,000 litres at the moment. The price is not at the best. It's kind of missed the high point for that. So we're kind of on the downward. And the only other thing we've currently got is the soybeans or selling some of the bales we've made, which I don't really want to do because we need those. So we're at that point where the only other way we can currently make any money is contract work, and most of the contracts currently available are ones that are going to take a fair while to actually do. Right, so back up to field 6. So what we'll do, we'll start following off where we've already ploughed that first section in last time, just to give us that divide on the field, and then we'll work our way across and do the headlands last. It's similar to before, but this time I won't come quite as far out onto the actual road. So yeah, hopefully this will well, there we go, 7 miles an hour, so hopefully it stays at that. Which is a lot better than what the previous play was, although it's still that kind of bouncing a little bit between 7. It seems to be holding now at 7. And so previously the other player was bouncing between 5 and 6. Even with the manual gears it still struggled, and I could never get it to all consistently at 7 miles an hour. So I think this section as well is slightly smaller, only a little bit, but it's just that little bit smaller than the other field. So yeah, just hoping it will just be a little bit of a quicker process this time, and then it'll be a case of getting the lime spread on it, getting an application of fertilizer, and then that'll be ready then for sowing with oats next time. We also need to get some more fertilizer on the canola and fertilize our 3 grass fields. And with the silage bales also now being fermented, we'll have a look at moving those. And possibly keep an eye out for a reasonable contract that we could possibly do to get that extra money for potentially getting the feed mixer. Well, yeah, this seems a hell of a lot better than the other player. Right, so the ploughing is going pretty well. It's still taking quite a while to actually do, but it's been a lot more of a pleasant job than last time. We're not slipping and sliding all over the place and struggling for traction. We've got this tiny strip left to do down here, and then we just need to finish off the headlands, just to tidy those up, and then that's the ploughing all done. So then the next job, we'll get some lime on, and then we'll get 1 layer of fertiliser, and then we'll call it done for now. Then next month obviously we'll look again the oats sown on this. So I've been thinking about what to do in terms of getting the feed mixer and stuff, and I think for now it may be worth just leasing the feed mixer, just so we can start getting that extra production out of the cows. Because currently there's a lot of contracts that are worth a lot of money to do. You just stop the tractor at the end of this road, but they're just going to take far too long to do, and some of the equipment is just a little bit crazy. Like field 17 ploughing, that's it's a long plough, but it's not the widest, and that's just going to take probably several hours to do. Same with pretty much all of the ploughing ones. Cultivating the field 23 is not too bad to do, but again that's going to take a while to do, and it's only 7,420. So yeah, I think at the moment it's going to be a case of mostly probably looking more towards fertilizing contracts, and even those seem to take a while on the larger fields. So we are very limited, although the cows are producing a decent amount of milk. Already we're over 7,000, so they've already produced I think around about 400 litres since we started. So I think it'll definitely worth leasing the feed mixer for now, just so we can get that increased production on milk. Because we're not going to be using it all that often, so we're not going to be racking up lots of hours of operating hours on it. So it's mainly just going to be the daily fee, which isn't too bad. I think it's 430. I definitely think it might be worth just leasing it, and then we can also use that for giving the cows straw for bedding, and we'll get the small manure pit in so we can start producing some manure as well. And then we'll either try and look at getting a manure spreader to actually utilise the manure on the fields. We're not buying fertiliser, or we'll sell it and then make some money from it that way, although I don't think it's worth a great deal. So it's one of those, we'll kind of see how much we're getting. And if it's worth actually ferrying down to the sell point or not. Okay, so last little bit of the ploughing to do, just need to finish off this headland, and then that is all done. It's definitely not a job we're going to be doing anytime soon on our own fields, at least. I don't plan to do any root crops or corn in these fields just yet, so it's been a fairly tedious job, but it's one that's done, and I said not one we're going to need to do again for a while. So let's just check this. We just haven't missed any bits, so that looks all good. Yep, so that's all ploughed, just that tiny strip down the middle. So what we're going to do next is get the... I'm thinking next we'll head down to the store to lease the feed mixer so we can give the cows some feed. Because at the moment they're constantly producing milk, so the sooner we can get them up to 100%, the better. So I think we'll do that next. Actually, if we're doing that, we may as well just take the plough back with us, because we finish with it now, rather than drop it off here. So yeah, I think that works out quite well. We'll return the plough and lease the feed mixer. We'll come back, get the cows some total mixed ration mixed up, so we can start getting them on the higher effectiveness feed. And then we'll look at getting the lime and fertiliser done before we finish up for today. Right, so we'll get this returned, and so then we'll lease the feed mixer. One thing I just spotted, I'm not actively collecting the collectibles on this map, so I'm not going to go out my way to actually collect them all, but I did just spot one over here. And I think, yeah, there was another one down here, just as I was driving down. Yeah, I'm not going to go around trying to find all 100, but if I do spot one, I will probably just pick it up. Alright, so feed mixer, we'll go with the Keenan from 4D Modding. Link to this should be on the mod list. If it's not, if you go through the link for the Heston baler, it'll take you to the same site where this is from. So Air Agri, I think it was. I can't remember yet, but the link, if the link for the feed mixer is not on the mod list, then look at the Heston baler or the dually trailer and follow that link and you'll come across the page for this as well. So registration, we'll leave it. How come that's not set it to? Oh, that's the one I changed earlier when I was just playing around. I was thinking then, well, that's a random plate. I'll keep it the same as the Massey, so I think 22 CAL. So it's like Sim Farmer 22 Calmsden. We'll keep it pretty much as standard, because it's obviously any extras are going to increase the leasing costs. So we're going to lease this, so it's 2,193 for the initial lease, 430 for every work day, 903 for every work hour, and I said it's going to take a while because literally mixing up, we're only going to probably using it for a couple of minutes, 2-3 minutes at a time. So there's our feed mixer, the Keenan Mech Fiber 365. Then a very, very nice mod again from 4D Modding. And while we're there, we'll actually return the plow. So we'll get this back to the yard, then we'll get some total mix ration mixed up. And we'll also get some straw in this, see if we can actually give them some straw through this and look at getting the manure pit built. Right, so what we'll do first is get the manure pit built. I have levelled out a little bit of an area next to the slurry pit where we should hopefully be able to build it. So I've got the one from the Bavarian farm pack, which is quite small compared to the base game one. So we just go into the build mode. So because the cows are obviously active in this field, putting it here, I don't know how far or how close they come to this building here, but they obviously go down this section here to get into the shed. So yeah, I don't know kind of where it's access. So if you build the manure pit, you might end up with cows walking all over it and it just look a bit silly. I don't think they come over it here anywhere. Here we go, solo extensions. As you can see, that is just absolutely humongous. It potentially could put it down here and it wouldn't have too many issues other than that trigger to fill it direct. But yeah, don't know for definite. Well, this one, part of the Bavarian farm pack. This one is a little bit bigger. This is part of the Bavarian farm pack part 2. So this is like the one that's not available on Mod Hub at the moment. This is fairly small, and so it does fit in there. We may get some of the bushes overlapping, kind of get that lined up. Hopefully it's brought out the ground a little bit inside the slurry pit, but we should be able to fix that with the smooth tool, maybe. Oh, we've already got manure being produced and we haven't even got any straw in. I don't know why we can't get rid of that. Possibly we'll have to look to see if I've actually got the mod that enables you to landscape anywhere. I thought I had, but I possibly may not have done, so I may have to look at getting that so we can tidy that little bit up there. But as you can see, we've already got some manure being produced. May need to just level that bit off. Again, I don't know if we can actually do this without the yeah, it's not letting me landscape there, so I'll have to activate that mod and then we can tidy that up with the landscaping tools. Let's see how much actually manure we've already got in there. 186 litres. So yeah, quite surprised that it's already showing up manure and we don't have any straw in. If we get this straw bale, we'll put this directly into the feed mixer and then see if we can give that the cows through there. And then we'll mix up a load of TMR. The trigger for the straw, for some reason, is only picking up right on this corner by the looks of it. I don't know if I actually tried to bale this far down, so possibly would have accepted a bale if I'd have dropped it off there. Let's just stop that there and see. Yeah, it doesn't. Oh, right at this end as well, it seems to be picking up. So possibly those two areas were the ones I never tried the bale, so potentially it may have taken a bale. We will give that a try. What I'll do next is just get some TMR mixed up so they can start eating that. We will need to turn that off just for a sec. Go and grab a silage bale. These are definitely done. Yep, silage 5,594 litres. So the mixer is around about 22,000 litre capacity. So I think if we do try and work out what the kind of best mix would be to do. Obviously hay is the cheaper of the two products, so we'd rather use more hay than silage. So I'm thinking possibly I could do with the weight on the back of this. Silage bales are pretty heavy. So I think the silage bales are way too heavy for the capacity compared to the standard bales. The fact that they're slightly low capacity but they seem a lot heavier. turn around so we can actually drop this in. We're going to actually be able to get this in without tipping the tractor up. There we go. Let's get that on so it actually looks like it's working. So one bale is around about 24%. If we was to do two hay bales now, I think should give us enough. It won't fully max out the thing, so we could possibly then just add straw to finish topping it up. Just for that last little bit, so it'll be 2 hay, 1 silage, 2 hay, and then a little bit of straw. And actually get this bale to come off the spike. There we go. A bit similar to some of the other changes. I do like the changes to the feed mixers now, that they don't just automatically take the whole bale, so you can just hold the bale over the mixer and let it go down to the percentage you want, rather than the whole bale just instantly going. It does make mixing a little bit easier to do, and you're not at the risk of losing any excess material if it just disappears. So I think possibly currently that's a little bit too much. I know we are just about in. So with the 2 hay bales, the Heston bales, and 1 silage, that does make total mix ration. And then we can fill up 10% with the straw. So we'll grab 1 straw bale and put that in till it's 100%. And then that's not a bad mix then. And so all I'll do is just hold this over until it stops. Just try and do, see if we drop this bale right at the end here, see if it'll take it. No, still not taking it there, so maybe it definitely must be that you can't do bales, or at least it's not taking the Heston bales for the bale trigger. So we'll just drop that there. Here you go, cows. Your first load of total mix ration. So we're currently 8,449 litres of straw, which is probably about a quarter of the total capacity. I think 1 load of TMR should do for now. That should last them a fair bit. Right, so that's the cows fed. So 22,785 litres of TMR. That brings their food effectiveness up to 100%. We've got 7,268 litres currently, and that's an increase of around about 600 litres since we started of milk. So we'll see how much we are when we come to finish up, see if that's gone up any more than 600 litres over the next few hours. We'll park this inside the shed, and then we'll get on with the lime and fertiliser spreading. We'll also have to finish moving the silage bales, so we'll bring them out the field so when we do the fertiliser on the grass they're not in the way. We'll just park this up in here. We'll go and get the spreader, which possibly, I don't know, I don't think there was much fertiliser left over from doing those contracts. I think there's only 100 litres in it. I may need to move the header trailer out the way first. Kind of blocked it in a bit. This is definitely where you could do a little bit of extra space. Just park this up down the side here for a little bit, so we can get that spreader out. Yeah, 138 litres left in here of fertiliser. Just going to unload that there. So it's just try and remember it's there. It's one of those things I'll probably forget. I'll just jump out, go and open this shed and get the lime. We possibly will need to buy a few more bags of lime. I don't know if we'll have enough here to finish that field off. But I definitely do think we will need to buy some more fertiliser, because I pretty much used everything we had doing those contracts. Let's just check, see if there are any more contracts come up. No. No, just those same ones. No fertilising contracts yet. I possibly may not get any of those. It looks like we've just got snow showing up on the... due some snow by the looks of it. 4 o'clock. Looks like it's due to snow. I think we may be finished by then. So yeah, so let's get this lime on before it just starts snowing. Yeah, so the plan for This field will be oats, because I think that'll be our best crop to do, as we can get some straw from it. Oats generally grow quite quickly as well, so they're usually, you can harvest them fairly early. And then what we'll probably do is swap it over, so we'll change this side of the field to do canola for the next year. And then the section we've got canola in, we may look at doing barley once we've harvested that. And then we'll just alternate between different crops between these two fields. So definitely always want to try and do one crop that can produce straw, just because we'll need it for bedding and mixing up total mix ration. And then the other crop will be just for selling, so purely just as a cash crop, bring in an extra bit of income for the farm. But obviously we will have the crop from the harvest, so the oats, to sell. It's not as if we're just doing it for the straw. Right, last little bit of liming to do. Should just about have enough to finish this off. And then what we'll do, we'll head straight down to the store with a spreader. If there is any lime left, we'll unload it. And then we'll just fill up directly at the store with the fertiliser, rather than take our trailer down there to load up the bags to bring back here, then to put in the spreader. Then we'll get the one application of fertiliser on here, then that's this field ready for sowing with oats next time. And we'll also look at trying to get the 3 grass fields done. I want to get those done today, because this is the kind of last day of winter. So possibly that from early spring the grass may be ready to, in the next growth stage, where we won't be able to fertilise it. I think technically now it's ready to harvest, although the yield wouldn't be anything amazing. So we've got 830 litres left in here. So I'll drop this off, we'll go down to the store, we'll just get 3 bags of fertiliser, which should be more than enough. As fertiliser seems to go quite far, especially compared to lime. So just been down to the store to buy 3,000 litres of fertiliser. That should be enough to get our fields done. What we'll probably do is just finish off this field, or we would come up to like 40 odd minutes for the video. So we'll finish this field off, and then I'll get the other fields done, ready for next time. So before I skip through to March. I may go through, because we can do the oats in April as well. Where are we? Oats. Yeah, so April. So may possibly just skip through to April. So skip March, depending if there's a decent contract that comes up, maybe for sowing, that's worth doing. Possibly have a look at doing that as well. I think possibly if we skip to April, there may be more stuff to do. We'll see. I'll skip through to March first, and then see what comes up. And then it'll be a case of just, yes, seeing what we can do until harvest time. So the canola should be ready probably July. We didn't plant it till September. If we'd have planted it in August, it would have been ready for June, so it's going to be July before the canola's ready. I'm missing bits. So from July we're going to have the canola to harvest, and I said the oats shouldn't be too far after that. Actually, if we get the oats in March, they'll be ready in July as well, so might be possibly worth doing the oats in April, and then they're kind of staggered a little bit more. So we're not trying to harvest the canola and oats and bale all the straw up in one go. And kind of do the canola and then look to let's try and work this out. Yeah, if we was to harvest the canola in July and then do the oats in August, and then also in August we could potentially look at getting the canola into the field we've just harvested the oats in straight away. So yeah, lots of things to consider. Just notice as well we are extremely low on fuel in the Massey. So yeah, these ones we're obviously going to get quite a lot more off when we come to harvest these fields this year. We won't be at the 100% yield bonus because we didn't mulch the fields. But with the rolling as well, we should be at 97.5%, 98% it shows up on the field info. And as to whether we sell the crops straight away, I think we'll probably, for this year, we'll probably keep hold of them unless we're desperate for money and there's no other opportunities to earn any. Then we will probably look at selling them direct. But with the cows now producing milk, we will have that to sell as well. So it's not as if we're just relying on the crops now for cash. So I want to continue concentrating on building up the dairy side, so take us up to around about 50-75 cows, and then with the reproduction as they're like a 1-to-1, so we kind of double what we've got. So the 28 we've got, once they're ready for reproduction, that'll take us up to 56, and then so on with any others we get. And then once we've kind of got the dairy side of things up to a good level, we'll look at expanding the farm then. And I think the next kind of best thing to expand into would be sheep, as we've already got all the grassland equipment for doing hay to feed the sheep. So we'll potentially look at buying this field here, 31, for the sheep pasture. Unless there's a decent open sheep pasture mod that comes out that we can utilise one of our smaller grass fields to get some sheep in. And then we buy a different grass field to use to replace that for actually cutting for hay and silage. So yeah, plenty of things to do. We've also got the first cut on our grass fields for silage, which we'll look to do before the end of spring. I possibly won't do 3 cuts on the grass fields, because I think that's just going to be far too much mowing and baling work throughout the series. So we'll probably just do 2 cuts per year on the grass field, so 1 for silage, 1 for hay. We'll also begin doing the baling straw. I don't know if it ended up just being constant baling. Try and not overdo certain aspects of it. So yeah, we'll just do 2 cuts on the grass fields each year. So we'll just go and get that tiny little bit we missed there, and then finish that strip off, and hope we've got enough fuel just to do that. and then we'll call it for this episode. And I'll say I'll get the grass fields fertilised, which, you know, at the end of the day, it's nothing different to what we're doing now, so you're not going to miss out on anything doing that. I'll also get the silage bales moved and put those over by the cow shed, so they're more accessible for us to use for total mix ration. So yeah, if you have enjoyed this episode, then please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. I really do appreciate it, and it does help out. And if you've not yet subscribed to the Sim Farmer Plus channel, then please do consider subscribing. We've currently got the Farm Simulator 22 Let's Play series on Calmsden Farm, and also the Transport Fever 2 Let's Play series. So to keep up to date with those, then consider subscribing so you don't miss anything. So that's that field done. So yeah, so that's it for now. As I said, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.